Now, Trump's Georgia case halted, on hold indefinitely. Put up the picture full mass. Wow. An appeals court has halted the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump and others, while it reviews the lower court's judge's ruling allowing Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to remain on the case. Now, remember, she had to basically go to trial herself. It was an unbelievable dynamic. I've never seen it before in my life. A DA is put on trial. Didn't even know you could do that during an active prosecution. But they did it. And after they did it, she wins. She overcomes the accusations, which, by the way, were not germane to the rules, which simply said there had to be a conflict. There's no conflict. They're on the same page in a whole lot of ways. That's called congruence. There was no conflict against the defendant, meaning the defendant's rights had no elements of, well, back and forth, cause and effect. There was nothing nothing constitutionally violated. Good. But it embarrassed her. It embarrassed the special prosecutor. Special prosecutor resigns. Great. Judge said this is what has to happen. Defense, they filed an appeal to the judicial ruling. Court of Appeals, well, state of Georgia, they said we're going to put the whole damn thing on hold until we figure out what we want to do here. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. So the appellate court agreed last month to hear Trump's appeal of Judge McAfee's ruling, a Republican appointee. But the October hearing date means the case will likely not make it to trial before the November election. The Georgia Court of Appeals order on Wednesday prevents Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee from moving forward with pretrial motions as he had planned while the appeal is pending. While it was already unlikely that the case would go to trial before November general election, when Trump is expected to be the Republican nominee for president, this makes that even more certain. The appeals court on Monday docketed the appeals filed by Trump and 8 others and said that, quote, if oral argument is requested and granted, it is tentatively scheduled for October 4th. The court will then have until March to rule, and the losing side will be able to appeal to the Georgia Supreme Court. The Georgia Court of Appeals tentatively set an October 4th date for arguments in an effort by Trump and his allies to have Willis and her office removed from the case. And all 3 judges randomly selected to hear the case. You have Trenton Brown, Benjamin Land, and Todd Merkel. They were appointed all by GOP governors, according to Newsweek. All of this is seemingly extrajudicial. We understand the legal play that's happening here. And they may get, I'm talking about the Trump team, Trump and his criminal surrogates may get exactly what they want. Delay, 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 until there's possibly an election where Trump becomes president again. We hope that doesn't happen. But here's the reality. Everyone knows Donald Trump committed a crime. He committed multiple crimes. As a matter of fact, his co-conspirators, many of them, have already confessed we committed crimes. Now, they've pleaded guilty. You have to understand the co-conspirators, many of them have pleaded guilty. That also means that they are likely going to testify against Donald Trump and against the other co-conspirators when this goes to trial. Trump can't have that. You see, they're not arguing innocence anymore. They're not arguing about the, constitutionality of what they did. They're arguing process of the prosecutor. They're arguing the prosecution of a former president. They're arguing the weaponization of partisanship inside of a prosecutor's office. These things are not connected to the charges. And let me remind everybody, Fani Willis, she indicted nobody. No one. It was a grand jury. Once again, So when judges do things like this and when moves are made inside of the legal system that seem contrary to common sense, counterintuitive, they're not saying no to the elected person. They're saying no to the actual citizens who said, yes, this should be prosecuted. All right? Senator, you know they had something up their sleeve as soon as the appeal was filed. What say you?
I sigh deeply on this.
Yep.
I feel like cursing deeply too. I mean, Trump is a magician, Doc. I don't know no other way to say it. I mean, I used to say the man got more lives than a cat, more than 9, clearly. But now he is taking up magic. I mean, he
Yeah.
really knows how to work the system. His people know how to work the system. And it is a delay. Understand this. I certainly believe that Trump is primarily running, well, selfishness is one, but secondarily to run, he thinks this is going to shield him from any legal consequences. Those two things, I believe, are the major motivating factors for Mr. Donald J. Trump to run for office. Ego / hubris, and hey, this just might keep me out of jail.
That's right. And the only counterbalance to his political selfishness was actually the Republican National Committee, ironically. They provided some level of challenge to his desire to utilize their budget, et cetera. So what did he do? Well, damn it, he took them over to no challenge anymore inside of the Republican Party.